Welcome to another moment of self-care here at Living Well After 60. Today, I invite you to take a deep breath and delve into a discovery that can transform your well-being. Often, after 60, we feel that our bodies no longer respond as they once did, especially when it comes to digestion and that persistent bloating. Have you ever felt that even eating fiber and drinking water, abdominal discomfort persists? Perhaps what's missing from your plate isn't just more fiber, but a special type of energy, resistant starch. Today, we'll uncover why it's the science-protected secret to silencing bloating and restoring lightness to your days. Get ready for an educational and cinematic journey into your inner health. To understand resistant starch, we first need to look at how our bodies process energy. Imagine that most of the carbohydrates we eat are like a quick flame, burning and being absorbed early in the digestive system. This often causes sugar spikes and, in some cases, unwanted fermentation ahead of time. Resistant starch, however, is different. As the name suggests, it resists digestion in the stomach and small intestine. It travels intact like a resilient traveler until it reaches its final destination, the large intestine. There, it doesn't become sugar, but rather the most valuable feast for your good bacteria. It is in this process of resisting that the magic of anti-inflammation begins to happen. Why are we talking about it so much now, especially for those over 60? As we age, our microbiota, that army of microorganisms that lives within us, tends to lose diversity. This loss is one of the main causes of bloating and a constant feeling of heaviness. When we provide our bodies with resistant starch, we are selectively feeding the bacteria that produce anti-inflammatory substances. One of these substances is butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that acts as a balm for the walls of your intestines. By strengthening this natural barrier, we prevent gas and toxins from causing that discomfort that we often confuse with abdominal fat. It's health that comes from the inside out. Let's talk about practicality. Where do we find this treasure? It's in simple foods, but the way you prepare them changes everything. Think about potatoes, rice, and even whole wheat pasta. If you eat them right after cooking, the starch is still present and quickly absorbed. But there's an ancient culinary trick that modern science has validated: refrigeration. By cooking these foods and leaving them in the refrigerator for a few hours, the molecular structure of the starch reorganizes itself, becoming resistant. Even if you reheat them slightly afterward, this structure remains. It's a small adjustment to your routine that transforms a common carbohydrate into a powerful tool against inflammation and bloating. Another great ally is the green banana. Unlike the ripe fruit, which is rich in sugars, the green banana is one of the most concentrated sources of resistant starch in nature. When we make green banana biomass, we are creating a highly valuable natural and homemade supplement. By adding a spoonful of this biomass to soups or juices, you provide your intestines with the necessary fuel to reduce bloating in a few days. It's a meditative approach to food, understanding that each ingredient has a specific time and function in our temple, which is our body. Let's learn to use these gifts of the earth with wisdom and patience, respecting the rhythm of our digestion. By integrating these small food rituals, we begin to realize that health is not about restriction, but about the intelligence of choice. Bloating is often just your body trying to tell you that the balance has been disrupted. When resistant starch reaches the large intestine, it is fermented slowly and gently. Unlike other sugars that cause explosive gas and discomfort, this fermentation produces stable energy for the cells lining your colon. It's as if you were renovating the foundation of an old house. Little by little, the cracks close, the structure strengthens, and peace returns to the environment. Feel this transformation happening as you choose to nourish yourself consciously and mindfully.
But why did science take so long to highlight resistant starch? For decades, we were taught that all starches were the same, quick sources of energy that should be avoided if we wanted to maintain our weight. Today, we know that resistant starch acts almost like soluble fiber, but with superior metabolic benefits. It helps regulate insulin levels, which is crucial after age 60 to prevent type 2 diabetes and maintain mental clarity. Imagine your metabolism as a river. Regular sugar creates choppy waves, while resistant starch keeps the flow steady, serene, and deep. It's the harmony needed for every system in your body to function without overload or unnecessary stress.
Let's delve a little deeper into another superfood, oats. If you regularly consume oats, you should know that letting them rest overnight in a little plant-based milk or yogurt, the famous overnight oats, preserves and enhances the resistant starch. When we cook oats at high temperatures, we break down part of this protective structure. By consuming them raw or simply soaked, you ensure a more efficient delivery of these benefits to your gut. It's about respecting the integrity of the food. Each grain carries an ancient wisdom of survival and nutrition, and our role is simply to allow this wisdom to find its way within us, without haste and with complete gratitude.
Many people ask, how long does it take to see results? The beauty of human biology, especially in maturity, is its regenerative capacity. In just a few weeks of consistent consumption of resistant starch, the composition of your gut flora begins to change. You'll notice that your clothes don't feel as tight at the end of the day, and that you feel more energetic when you wake up. Bloating drains our vital energy. When it disappears, we regain the desire to walk, to socialize, and to live life to the fullest. It's not just an aesthetic change, it's the reclaiming of your freedom of movement and personal comfort in your own skin. It's important to remember that this journey shouldn't be undertaken with anxiety. Start slowly. Add a spoonful of biomass here, a chilled potato there. Observe how your body reacts. Your body's voice is the most reliable guide you have. If you feel a little gas at first, don't be alarmed. It's your internal army being fed and reorganizing. Over time, abdominal silence will become your new norm. This is the invitation of living well after 60, to age with science, but also with a peaceful soul, knowing that we are giving our temple the best possible care. Let's continue exploring together how to simplify this science for your daily life.
We talk about food, but we need to talk about the hydration that accompanies this process. Resistant starch acts like a beneficial sponge, but for it to flow perfectly through your system, water is the essential conductor. Imagine an old mill. The gears are the starch, but the water is what makes it move. Drinking water slowly and mindfully, especially between meals, helps fiber and resistant starch perform their cleansing task effortlessly. By hydrating your cells, you allow butyrate, that protective balm, to spread more efficiently through the intestinal walls. Feel each sip as a necessary purification for your new state of lightness and physical clarity.
One point we often overlook after 60 is chewing. The process of making resistant starch effective begins in your mouth. Saliva contains enzymes that prepare food for that long journey to the colon. When we eat in a hurry, we miss the opportunity to begin digestion harmoniously. I invite you to transform your next meal into an act of meditation. Feel the textures, the flavors, and the resistance of a potato that has been chilled. By chewing well, you reduce the workload on your stomach and ensure that the starch arrives intact and ready to feed your good bacteria. It's about respecting the food's time and your own body's time. Let's talk about chilled brown rice, one of the cornerstones of this strategy. When you cook rice and let it rest at a low temperature, the phenomenon of retrogradation occurs. The starch molecules intertwine in such a way that digestive enzymes cannot easily break them down. This means you consume fewer net calories and more prebiotic fiber. For those looking to control abdominal weight, this is a golden tool. Rice, once seen as a villain for blood sugar, becomes an ally for satiety. It's science, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary, allowing you to enjoy the pleasures of the table with the assurance of protecting your metabolic health. Often, bloating brings with it a mental fatigue that we can't explain. There's a direct link between your gut and your brain. When your gut is inflamed and distended by gas, stress signals are constantly sent to your nervous system. By silencing bloating with resistant starch, you're actually calming your mind. Less intestinal inflammation means a more stable production of serotonin, the feel-good hormone, which is largely manufactured in your digestive tract. Notice how the lightness of the body translates into clearer thinking, renewed patience, and deeper, more restorative sleep.
Another fascinating source of resistant starch is legumes, such as white beans and chickpeas. At Living Well After 60, we value foods that harness the strength of the earth. When you consume these seeds prepared with the correct soaking and cooking time, you offer unparalleled nutritional density. The starch present in them is naturally slower to be absorbed. Try including them in cold salads, where the temperature helps maintain their resistant structure. It's the cuisine of longevity, simple, ancient, and profoundly effective. Each grain is a promise of sustained energy for your morning walks and precious moments with those you love. It's natural to feel doubtful at first. Can I reheat the food? The answer is yes, but wisely. Gentle reheating doesn't destroy the resistant starch structure that formed during cooling. However, avoid boiling or subjecting the food to high pressure again. The secret is in the balance. Imagine you're caring for a work of art. Excessive heat can alter the texture, but gentle heat only enhances the flavor. Having this culinary awareness is a way of caring for yourself. You're not just cooking, you're preparing your natural remedy straight from your kitchen for your daily well-being. In addition to reducing swelling, resistant starch helps strengthen joints by reducing systemic inflammation. Many aches and pains that we attribute solely to age can be aggravated by a diet that ferments incorrectly in the gut. By changing the fuel for your gut bacteria, you send anti-inflammatory messages throughout your body. Your knees, hips, and spine will thank you when the internal environment is in harmony. It's a holistic view of health and maturity. Everything is connected. A happy gut is the foundation for a body that moves gracefully and without pain. Feel the freedom of movement returning as you adjust these small details in your routine.
Let's talk about green banana biomass in detail. It's almost neutral in flavor, making it the perfect ingredient to hide health in your favorite recipes. You can mix it into beans, tomato sauce, or even a fruit cream. It doesn't alter the pleasure of eating, but it completely changes the impact of that food on your body. It's the intelligence of substitution. For those who have difficulty consuming large amounts of traditional fiber, biomass is a safe and gentle shortcut. It's care that doesn't weigh you down, nutrition that doesn't invade, but silently transforms your insides, restoring elasticity to your intestinal walls.
At Living Well After 60, we believe that knowledge is the greatest tool for freedom. Understanding that you have the power to reduce bloating simply by changing the temperature of a potato is liberating. We don't need complex or expensive solutions. We need attention and patience. Nature offers us everything we need, often hidden in simple forms like starch. By embracing this secret, you take ownership of your health. You stop being a prisoner of discomfort and become the architect of your own lightness. Breathe in this new possibility. Feel the gratitude for discovering that your body is still capable of responding positively to every small act of care. At the end of this journey of discovery, what remains is an invitation to put it into practice. Resistant starch is not a passing fad. It's a new perspective on the biology of maturity. It's understanding that our bodies, after 60, require more gentleness and more precise choices. The bloating that once seemed inevitable now reveals itself as a correctable imbalance. I invite you to start today. Which of these foods do you already have in your pantry? How can you reorganize your next meal to include this secret? Remember, every conscious choice is a vow of love for your life and your future. We are only halfway through our exploration. There is still much to learn together about the power of your health.
We've reached a crucial point: consistency. Resistant starch isn't a one-time intervention, but a habit that flourishes over time. Imagine you're cultivating an indoor garden. The good bacteria are the seeds, and the resistant starch is the water and nutrients. Initially, the changes may be subtle, almost imperceptible, but as the days go by, the flowers of health begin to bloom in the form of more energy and less abdominal pressure. Don't be discouraged if you don't feel a complete transformation by the third or fourth day. The biology of maturity values gentle persistence. Keep nurturing your garden and trust in the natural regeneration process that God placed in each of your cells.
Let's now explore the relationship between resistant starch and immunity. Did you know that about 70% of your immune system resides in your gut? When you strengthen your gut microbiota with these chilled foods, you are literally training your internal soldiers to protect you against viruses and infections. For those over 60, having an intact intestinal barrier is the best natural vaccine we can cultivate. Resistant starch helps produce the protective mucus that prevents invaders from entering your bloodstream. It's your invisible armor, built bite by bite, with the intelligence of nature and your conscious choice to live with more security and vigor.
Another noteworthy source on our plate is lentils. Like beans, they are a silent reservoir of health. When we prepare a cold lentil salad with fresh herbs and a touch of olive oil, we are creating the perfect feast for longevity. Lentils offer a unique combination of plant proteins and slow-digesting starches. This prevents your pancreas from having to work overtime to produce insulin. In maturity, sparing our organs from unnecessary strain is the secret to aging with young and functional vital organs. Feel the earthy flavor and firm texture of each grain, knowing that within it resides an ancestral force of nutrition.
Perhaps you're wondering about bread. Can it be transformed? Science brings us surprising news. Even bread can benefit from the cold. If you freeze your whole wheat bread and then lightly toast it before eating, you significantly increase the proportion of resistant starch in it. It's modern alchemy. Freezing alters the structure of the wheat in a beneficial way, reducing the glycemic index of your morning slice. This means you can enjoy your favorite breakfast without the fear of bloating or post-meal drowsiness. It's these little technical secrets that restore the pleasure of eating without guilt and with full biological awareness. It's also important to listen to the silence. Light intermittent fasting, when combined with the consumption of resistant starch, enhances intestinal cleansing. When you give your system a 12 or 14-hour rest during the night and break that fast with a source of resistant starch, you optimize cellular renewal. It's as if you're giving your digestive organs a vacation so they can return to work with more strength and efficiency. At Living Well After 60, we don't seek extremes, but rather a balance that respects your body's circadian rhythms. Feel the mental clarity that arises when the digestive system is not overloaded, but rather working in harmony. I'd like you to visualize your gut not as a tube, but as a vibrant underwater coral reef. Every fold and every intestinal villus is an ecosystem that needs care. Bloating is like a sandstorm that obscures the beauty and function of this landscape. Resistant starch is the stream of clean water that settles the sand and restores clarity. By reducing inflammation in this environment, you allow the nutrients from other foods, the vitamins from fruits, and the minerals from vegetables to finally be fully absorbed. You begin to take full advantage of what you consume, nourishing your cells at a level you haven't felt in decades. Often, swelling is accompanied by fluid retention in the legs and ankles. As I've shown in previous videos, movement is life, but what you eat dictates how you move. By reducing internal inflammation with the secret of resistant starch, peripheral circulation also improves. Less pressure in the abdomen means freer and more efficient venous return. Feel your legs lighter, your steps firmer, and the desire to explore the world around you returning in full force. Gut health is the starting point for an active and unrestricted life. You were made to move freely, and your plate is the fuel for that journey. We are nearing the end of this conversation, but this is just the beginning of your new phase. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror with compassion, Your body has overcome 6 decades or more of challenges and now deserves this refined attention. Incorporating resistant starch isn't about aesthetics, although you will notice a flatter abdomen. It's about physical dignity. It's about reaching 70, 80, or 90 years of age with the autonomy of someone who knows the keys to their own health. Feel proud to be here, learning and applying these scientific concepts. You are proof that curiosity and care have no age limit, and that wisdom is the best ingredient for longevity.
Now, I invite you to a simple commitment. Choose one of the tricks we learned today, whether it's chilled rice, biomass, or soaked oats, and try it for 7 consecutive days. Observe, take notes, feel. Transform your kitchen into a wellness laboratory. Share this discovery with a friend or family member. Many people suffer from bloating in silence, thinking it's just a sign of aging. Show them that there's a secret, a simple and accessible science that can restore the joy of eating. By spreading this knowledge, you strengthen not only your body, but our network of care here at Living Well After 60. Together, we are stronger and healthier.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your day and your quest for a better life. May this knowledge about resistant starch be the seed of a profound transformation in your routine. Remember, every small change counts. Every conscious choice is a step towards the lightness you deserve. Keep breathing deeply, eating mindfully, and loving the temple you inhabit. Bloating is a thing of the past. Now what lies ahead is the path to vitality and inner peace. I am Ask Studio, your creative partner, and I will always be here to help you translate science into life. Until our next meeting, live well, live fully, and take care of yourself with all the love in the world.